over the several years you've been working in research, you've had to probably engage with all sorts of people from different groups, patients, the families of patients, other researchers, scientists, and very recently, because of COVID, you've also had to engage with the media and possibly enter discussions with policymakers. So in all of these types of works, do you think there are a few capacities you've found are indispensable to this kind of work? And what experiences do you think helped you develop these capacities?
I think the first and most important thing is to respect other people. And it doesn't matter where they come from, what their educational background is. Everybody knows more than you know about something. As long as you understand that, you almost automatically treat people with respect. And I think that matters. For us, most of our work is done with communities. And that's the one thing that I've made sure that our teams understand, that everybody on the team is aware that this is not top-down research. This is not top-down work. People who participate in our studies are doing us a favor and not the other way around. So if we are to learn together, we need to work together and respect each other. I think what I find in terms of dealing with the media, you very quickly begin to suss out who are the people who want to genuinely inform and the ones who are doing it for sound bites. And when it is a sound bite sort of approach to try and make people, essentially around clickbait, I don't like that. But if you want an explanation, if you want to learn, then those are the kinds of people that I'm really happy to interact with. So the ability to figure out which audience you want to speak to, I think is very important. If it's people who want to learn, absolutely, I am a teacher, right? But if it's for publicity, I'm really not interested. When it comes to dealing with politicians and others, I think one of the things that really matters to me is equity and making sure that we are offering to everyone as equal a chance as we can make it. Many of us are very privileged in where we are and how we got here without too much of a problem. But that actually places more responsibility on us to do better, to be able to do more for others who didn't have these opportunities. And it bothers me when politicians don't see that. So I think a little healthy skepticism is also useful to make sure that you call out people who are not doing what you think is the best for society.
You mentioned that you've loved asking questions and it's been a big motivation with your work. So for a student of biology who's possibly watching us speak right now, what capacities would you encourage them to develop to be scientists and a true question solver?
So the first thing is be really, really careful in designing experiments. Spend more time on the design of the experiment than you actually spend doing it, because that design to make sure that it is actually going to answer your question is really important. And then your measurements have to be very rigorous. You keep repeating it till you are confident in your methods and that you're getting it right. After that, the results are the results. If they go in support of your hypothesis, great. If they don't support your hypothesis, even better, because now you can figure out a new hypothesis. So I think being prepared for your experiments to fail is important because it just shows you that you have to think about things in a different way. If you're constantly one step ahead of the game and you've always got the right answers and your experiments are always confirming that, maybe you're not challenging yourself enough. Microbiology is like detective stories. So it's about, this is the problem, how do I find out what the solution is? And research pretty much is very similar to that, except that I'm not always looking for a bug now. I'm looking for why do humans and bugs interact in this way and what are the consequences of that. But for undergraduate students, I think the most important thing to do is to make friends and spend some time, having fun and doing things together. So for me, my memories of college, yes, I enjoyed class and everything else. I enjoyed being a medical student, but what I really remember is holidays with friends, working on, I can't sing, I can't dance, but I'm very, very good at crafts. So I was always in charge of props and lights and painting and this and that. So that's the stuff that I remember, and it matters and it sets you up because you have to figure out how to do things with very few resources. So all of that is good learning.